Ireland's unhappy history in the tournament, do you think the pressure is going to be bigger on them for that game?
I'm not going to answer that question.
They'll get something intangible from that. They'll get an energy and momentum from that. They'll get everybody out drinking their Iron Brew, tartan and Lille. There'll be bagpipes. They're going to have a party
All
tonight.
the cliches.
All the cliches.
It's been a tight affair, and Scotland get their second penalty in a row. Settles into his rhythm. Russell pops us over. We knew the game would be as tight as a boxer's glove.
We're hoping for a belter at BT Murrayfield. Final game of the Guinness Six Nations in round 4, and Scotland will want to get off to an absolute flyer here.
What the opposition of Ireland, of 9 of the past 10 games, have not done, and they've held them tryless in the first 10 minutes. You know, that is a terrifying statistic. 9 out of the last 10 games, Ireland have scored within the first 10 minutes. Scotland have managed to do that. They'll take the 3.
Sexton, first opportunity through the boots of the afternoon is a right once more. Can Scotland find the opening try in this one? Yes, they can! Yes, they can! Hugh Jones is in, and Murrayfield goes bonkers.
Finn Russell out the back, the short ball on the shoulder to Hugh Jones. Over he goes. 60,000 people out their seats, on their feet. Look at this. The no-look pass by Tuipulotu. Jones does enough, gets the outside angle. Scotland score first, or breach the whitewash first. Sensational score and reward for Faze after.
So they're going to get everybody out, have a good time tonight, then park that and just try and bring. I don't think there's that much they can bring from this. There's some intangible energy, whatever that is, momentum. They'll try and absorb every last bit, because as Matty says, this is going to take a huge effort from Scotland to get the better of Ireland next week. I think they're going to be massively in the deep end, and it's going to be tough for them. The problem from an Irish perspective is that there's just an uncertainty that comes with Scotland. Like Finn Russell pulling the strings, that fella rolls the dice every time he gets the ball.
Ireland are the #1 team in the world. They're on the back of 16 wins, so I'm sure they're not going to be thinking about what's happened in previous tournaments. They've got a lot of confidence in how they have played for the last 2 or 3 years, and obviously they'll take a huge amount of confidence from the last game that they managed to get a win there.
Gregor, how pleased are you with the way the team's responded from the South Africa game? Back-to-back wins, pretty comfortable, and how well set are you for next week?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I think there was a lot of hard work that has gone in at training. We had a 2-week break between South Africa and Tonga, and we had 3 very tough sessions in the heat, physical sessions. And the players trained really well this week, a very physical session on Wednesday. So they're putting in the hard yards that is required to then play at a level where you can score the amount of tries we've scored the last 2 games, where we've been able to set up this shootout game with Ireland. So the credit goes to the players and how hard they've worked. And how hard they worked tonight, and against Tonga. Like, both games were very physical. And you've got to make sure you win that physical battle. You work hard to be an extra man in attack and defence, and the players did that tonight.
It's just like, let's go and play. And I've heard Gregor Townsend say it. He's like, let's just play wide. Let's try and stretch and break teams in that manner. And I think when they're like that, when they're not trying to be just all about their tactical smartness, they're just backing instincts and using that flair, I guess, for want of a better description, they are a threat. But I'd have the same reservations. Like, if I was an Irish player and I'm coming into that game, I'd be thinking, these guys have never, ever lived up to the billing. They don't have the grit, the resilience, the trophies, the medals, the scars and the battle hardness that we have. And they've been talked up and they've been confident. Their fans thought they're brilliant before, but when have they ever actually done it?
Kia ora, welcome to Angry Dad. We're just going to have a look at a preview of the upcoming Ireland versus Scotland game. It's going to be one of the remaining awesome games of the World Cup. It's going to decide who goes through there in Pool B. Ireland are the #1 ranked team in the world, and they're on 14 points. Scotland are the 5th ranked team in the world, and they're on 10 points. If Scotland can somehow get a win here, it'll really mix up the standings between South Africa, Ireland and Scotland. The game's going to be played at the Stade de France. It's going to be 9 PM local time. 8 a.m. here in New Zealand. And the referee for that match is going to be Nick Berry from Australia. I don't know much about Nick Berry, but I've heard that he has been a former professional rugby player. He played for the Queensland Reds and he was a halfback. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Nick Berry goes there. Ireland had Ben O'Keefe last time and he seemed to do him a few favours. So the ref is a big part of the game, his interpretation of the laws, when it's a maul, when it's a ruck, obviously putting people on report, head clashes, etc. So it could be a big part of the game. Scotland, they've been in it, and all the matches leading up to this, was 8-7 to Ireland over Scotland in the latest Guinness series or Six Nations, and then Ireland went on to win that match 22-7. So Scotland's got a bit of work to do in the second half. And then against South Africa in the World Cup itself, it was 6-3 at halftime to South Africa, so only 3 points in it. All right, some really tasty match-ups in the backs is going to be Finn Russell versus Johnny Sexton. Finn Russell in the game against Romania managed to get 12 out of 12 conversions, and he's pretty handy at running the back line there. Bit of a loose cannon, as they've been saying on the podcast. Johnny Sexton, well, he's got the Irish point scoring record, and he's also pretty handy at coming into the line and scoring tries, linking up with the forwards. So that battle there is going to be really interesting. The kicking game, who can slot the penalties. I think if you're Scotland, you're not wanting to give away too many penalties in your own half. That really sunk them against South Africa. The other really interesting matchup is going to be the back three. Ireland have Hansen, Lowe and Keenan. They all seem to combine well together. They come off their wings, help each other out, create overloads, and both Hansen and Lowe have really big boots. I believe James Lowe has a really good left foot. So they're a very well balanced back three. But versing them in Scotland, Van der Merwe's been going great on the wing, and Darcy Graham managed to get 4 tries against Romania, and he's closing in on the Scottish try scoring record. So yeah, the battle of the men out wide, the back three, is going to be a very interesting part of this game. Right, the thing that will probably denote the difference between the two sides, I believe, will be the last 20 minutes. Who can run on their subs, who can absorb the pressure. Will Sexton go deep into this game, maybe to the 70th minute like he did against South Africa, or will they pull him off to save him for the New Zealand game? Scotland have a habit of leading a couple of tries through late. I guess a lot of teams do, but when you start running out of fitness, Scotland got scored against in the 46th and 49th minute by South Africa, and in their game against Ireland, they got scored on late 50th, 60th minute. So if Scotland can hold their composure to halftime, if they can make some smart subs, if all of their players can come off like Finn Russell and Darcy Graham, if their forwards can get some sort of scrum parity and attack the Irish line-out, well, who knows, it might end up being a very close game. At the very least, as I'd like to say a neutral, not really a neutral because we've got a horse in the race as a New Zealander. It'd be really great if the Scottish team could give the Irish team a really good game right up until the last minute, like we saw the other day in the game between Georgia and Fiji. That would do us no end of favours if Ireland come out of a really hard game and have to play the All Blacks. We're hoping that they'll be running out of steam by the quarterfinals. All right, best of luck to both teams, and may the best team win. Ciao.